kept in by Devon Taves. Saucers it down low, away from McKinnon. Goodbranson has it stolen by McKinnon. Pinching his Taves. Cale Makar and Mikko Rantanen have to get back 2-on-2. Makar, boy, just great defending into the path of McKinnon on a breakaway. Here he comes. He scores! He did it! 33 straight games with a point on home ice. And he ties the second longest point streak in NHL history with the great one. Nathan MacKinnon gets his 43rd goal of the season. His point streak overall is at 17 straight games. The second longest to his own streak this season. And with 13:59 to go in the third, MacKinnon makes some history. And the Avalanche have a 4-1 lead.
"33 straight games for Nathan MacKinnon, surpasses Guy Lafleur and ties Wayne Gretzky for the second longest run in NHL history of points in consecutive home games. Mikko Rantanen scores 2 goals this evening. He's got 39 on the season. Cale Makar nets his 18th of the year to tie Roman Josi for the league's lead among defensemen. And the Avs, despite giving up the first goal of this game 5 minutes into this thing against a heavily undermanned Columbus Blue Jackets team, score 6 unanswered. They've won 8 straight. They sit atop the Central Division as we welcome you into Between the Pipes, presented by Safeway here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. I'm your host,
Name's
Alex
Nathan MacKinnon. Heard of him?
Better believe I have. I'm your host, Alex Ryan Emmy. You guys know me better as Raj, joined as always by super producer Steve Nelson behind the glass, and my co-host, my partner. They call him the Radio Machine. He's Mark Springer.
Did we need to play that hockey game tonight?
Probably
Was that
not
necessary?
Nope.
I mean,
It was a 2.5 goal spread, and it probably should have been more.
I could have spoiled the outcome for you. That was one of those ones where, like, barring God knows what happening, probably something like extremely unfortunate, those 2 points were never in doubt. Not even with Columbus up 1-0 for the first, 9 minutes, 11 minutes, whatever it was of the game. Never a doubt.
No, they were getting outshot heavily. It was a missed assignment backdoor. It's a flubbed shot that ends up going in the back of the net for Damon Severson. A good pass from Johnny Gaudreau. Avs fell asleep in the defensive zone. Flubbed shot that Georgiev probably wants to have, but I think as a goaltender, you're expecting pucks to come at a certain pace on shots. That said, it does beat him on the far side post, and had Severson gotten all of it, like the puck's still going in the back of the net because it's going faster.
Mm-hmm.
What he's been very good at, and he didn't need to be good tonight because Columbus is, 1, they're a bad team, and 2, they are incredibly injured. He's done a decent job as of late of giving up an early goal and then just like keeping it to 2 goals, keeping it to 3 goals, and allowing this team, which is scoring at torrid paces, to come back, win again. It's yet another comeback victory for the Avs tonight. I thought Georgiev was fine. He didn't need to be very good tonight. The team that was in front of him is just simply miles better than Columbus.
You know, Columbus has been playing okay of late. They're coming off of an overtime loss in Detroit, lost 4-3. They beat the Oilers a couple weeks ago, beat the Golden Knights. But in Denver, you just know.
No Corrali, no Fantilli, no Boakfist, no Jiricek, no Chinikov.
Line.
No Line. Man, tonight was Johnny Gaudreau, Zach Werenski, and a band of misfits.
Boone Jenner.
Remember when I was on the Boone Jenner trade a couple of years ago?
Boone made a lot of sense, but he's their captain, and he's got some years left on his deal, though he's pretty affordable. I'll take Casey Middlestat, though. I'll settle for that. In fact, I mean, that's a kid coming into his prime. It's Mikko starting to come into his own. Like, he's starting to play like all-star Mikko. It's just all come together for Colorado. Like the playoffs, it feels like they should start in 2 days. It feels like we're spinning our wheels here. Like, seeding, all that is great. I don't even care what their seed is because, and Jared Bednar even said this earlier this week, like right now, Vegas is the 8th seed. And it's possible that that's where they finish. Right now, it's looking at the standing, it's likely to be Vegas or the Kings. Now, if the Kings are the 8th seed, then yeah, I wouldn't mind drawing them as the top overall seed. But if Vegas is the top overall seed, kind of would rather, or if Vegas is the 8th seed, I kind of rather you miss them, actually. I wouldn't want the top seed because I still think Vegas is the toughest team that the Avs would have to go through in the West.
Find a way to miss Vegas in round one.
Yeah.
You want to put it regardless of what Nashville is doing, and Nashville is on fire, right? They're 14-0-2 in their last 16 games. They've got 86 points. Like it's not out of the equation that if one of the 3 teams in the Central gets a little cold in the final 10 games and Nashville continues, like they're not going to win their final 12 games of the year. It's not going to happen for Nashville. Let's say they go 8-4 over the next 12 and they get 16 points and finish with 102. If Winnipeg or Dallas or hell, even Colorado, if someone goes a little chilly and finishes 4-8 or 5-6-1, there's a world in which one of these 3 teams could slip into the wild card because of how hot Nashville is, because of how good UC Saros is playing. But I do agree with you. It's avoid Vegas at all costs. That said, I also think you absolutely must avoid playing in that 2-3 Central Division matchup. You want one of the 2 teams of Dallas and Winnipeg to be gone by the time you get to round 2.
Well, if you're the 1 or the 2, if you win the division and therefore you're the 1 or the 2 seed, it'll be the winner of the Centrals, the 1 or the 2, and then the 1 or the 2 is Vancouver. It looks like Vancouver's going to win the Pacific. I don't.
Vancouver is winning the Pacific. The question is, will Vancouver win the West?
Exactly.
And be the 1 seed?
So Vancouver's either the 1 or the 2, and then the winner of the West is the other one. So if you're the winner of the West, whether you're the 1 or the 2, you're playing either Nashville, LA, or Vegas.
Dude, I think
the way that Nashville's playing right now, are they any different than Winnipeg or Dallas?
Yeah. They're not as deep. They are not as good up front. Roman Yossi's a stud. Don't get me wrong. UC Saros is, at this point, UC Saros is a more scary goaltender than Jake Ottinger is. He's not Connor Hellebuck. Connor Hellebuck strikes fear into my heart. And that's why I want Dallas and Winnipeg to murder each other in the first round. And honestly, I know I just said avoid Vegas at all costs. I'd rather take Vegas in round 1 and let Dallas and Winnipeg, because throughout the whole season, Dallas and Winnipeg have shown you that they are a better team than Vegas is right now.
The one silver lining about a matchup with Vegas in round 1 would be that it is possible Mark Stone is not back for the start of the playoffs. And in a matchup with Colorado, he actually might be the most valuable player for Vegas because he's that two-way forward who, man, he has had Nathan MacKinnon's number defensively over the years. So it wouldn't be the worst thing if you drew Vegas and Mark Stone didn't play. If he did, though, and this is where the regular season is kind of dumb because I don't care that Vegas is the 8th seed right now. They're the second best team in the West. I don't care what anyone says.
If healthy.
If
Mark Stone and Tomas Hertl are in the lineup, they are the second best team. They are at least the third best team in the West. You can make the argument best or second best.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson have not played as well as they did last year. Aiden Hill went on a tear in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been the same guy. But you put Tomas Hertl and Mark Stone into that lineup right now, it's really, really difficult to play against.
Now, keep in mind, though, the Avs have won 8 in a row now. They've won 10 out of their last 11. The one loss, the loss before the 8-game win streak, losing 5-1 in Nashville. So, I mean, are we taking Nashville lightly? They're playing very well over the past few weeks.
I mean,
there's no easy matchup in round 1.
There's no way that you would say There's no way that if you had your pick of the litter between Nashville, Vegas, Winnipeg, and Dallas, you're not taking Nashville as the matchup. That's the easiest of those 4 teams. They're hot, but that's the easiest of the 4 teams.
The team I want to face the most is the Kings. If Vegas could catch the Kings, they're 2 points back, and the Kings end up with that 8 seed, then I think it's like sirens, red alert,
Get those guys.
Get
that
that
those
1
guys.
seed.
Get those guys.
Get the Kings.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Nashville it's a good club. It has an excellent goaltender, which should be a little nerve-wracking for the playoffs. But their second line is Colton Sissons in between Jason Zucker and Luke Evangelista.
No, I get it. I'm surprised that Nashville's playing as well as they are. But they're coached well. Andrew Brunette.
The second best goaltender on Nashville, defenseman on Nashville is what? A mid-30s Ryan McDonough?
Dude.
A mid-30s Tyson Barrie? Which on Colorado, Ryan McDonough or Tyson Barrie are either your number 4 or your 5-6 pairing. Luke Schenn, you're going to put Luke Schenn in ahead of any one of the top 4 D-men on this team?
Man, Tyson Barrie's got that chip on his shoulder. It's like, you chose Cale Makar over me? Now you got to understand why. Nashville has won 14 out of the last 16 games.
I know, they're hot.
That's incredible.
Are they peaking too soon?
Possibly
They
just a
could
week
be.
or two, just by a week or two. They just went into Florida, a team that I've praised all year long, my favorite team in the East. They just went into Florida and shut them out 3-0. Like, that is that's Roman Josi. That's Ryan O'Reilly. That is a physical, like, FU with Saros in goal win. 3-0. That's playoff hockey right there.
I love a texter who knows our show. The 401, our usher tried to start the wave tonight. Our usher!
Yeah.
You stop
right.
that, Steve Nelson.
Let's go.
No, the producer does not speak for the views of the whole of this show.
I know Springer's pro wave, 110%.
That's sarcasm.
All wave, all the time. Radio machine.
All right, fine. Let's do this. Rank your teams 1 through 5 of the possible first round matchups. You get Dallas, Winnipeg, LA, Nashville, Vegas.
Kings again. If you're going, what you want to face the most,
desirable to least desirable
okay, Kings,
out of those 5.
dude, you're gonna hate my number 2. It's Winnipeg.
Oh,
I don't like Winnipeg, man.
He's the best goalie in the world right now. He's the best goaltender on the planet right now. Connor Hellebuyck.
Actually, you know what? Honestly, it's tough for me to rank them. After the Kings, it's a lot of the same. It's a lot.
It's the Kings
of the
and then a
same.
chasm for you.
Yeah, like all these teams are very solid.
The correct ranking is LA, Nashville, Dallas, Winnipeg, Vegas, in that order. That is the correct order from most desirable first round matchup to least desirable. LA, Nashville, Dallas, Winnipeg, Vegas, in that order.
See, and here's something I was thinking too. Derek on the text line says, not so much being afraid of Nash, the team, but that arena. We suck there. Yeah, the Avs have struggled at Bridgestone
do.
Arena. And weird things happen there. Here's the thing, though. The Avs should beat any of these teams right now. Whoever they draw in round 1, and it won't be Vancouver, it won't be Edmonton, but any of those other teams, they should beat. I don't care if it's Dallas. I don't care if it's Winnipeg. I don't care if it's a 2-3 matchup. They should beat any of these teams. That's how good they're playing right now.
Listen, they're on fire. Again, Makar ties this game up about halfway through the first period. Beautiful far side shot. The zone entry from Lehkonen and Drouin on that goal to tie this thing up. Ross Colton gets a greasy one in front of the net. Mikko Rantanen, a beautiful high slot tip to put them up 3-1 7 minutes into the second period. And just when we thought that the lowly Columbus Blue Jackets on a night that the Avs were dominating CBJ. Nathan McKinnon gets a breakout pass from Cale Makar, who gets his 59th assist on the year, goes down on a breakaway and throws a hey, screw you shot past Elvis Merzlikins. A minute later, they go tic-tac-toe on the power play. Same thing from Rantanen, one-time shot from underneath the weak side dot. This thing was unreal. The biggest highlight real goal of the evening was Valerian Nichushkin's one to make it 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
Zone entry, toe drag, drive on his backhand side, far side finish. I should have seen it coming. Columbus is terrible.
Yeah, and he has her 4 lines deep. Like there's no weak spot at any position right now. There's not a single winger or center on your 4th line, on your 3rd D pair, in any area of this team. There's not one player that you look at right now and say, I don't know about him. There's no Curtis McDermott. There's no Ryan Johansson. Okay? None of that exists for this team anymore. They are perfectly constructed top to bottom right now. Of course, so long as they stay healthy.
Avs win 6-1, 8 straight, top of the Central Division between the pipes, presented by Safeway on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
Columbus, Hastings, and DMAC are hooking you up with another incredible Vegas trip. It's the Green Jacket Getaway. You and a guest are going to take in the Masters Tournament at the Circa Resorts and Casino, Las Vegas. We've got your airfare, a 3-night stay at Circa, a day bed at the legendary Stadium Swim, limo to and from the airport. All right. Beginning Monday at noon, listen for keywords to text and enter. You can also punt in an extra entry at altitudesportsradio.com.
Oh, dude, this is amazing.
Daily winners will grab $50 gift cards to GQ Barbecue, PhD's Green Jacket Getaway. Just another reason to keep your radio out of the sand trap. And on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
You don't have to be hungry to eat cheese. You don't have to be cold to wear a Packers hoodie. You don't have to be broke to drink High Life out of a can. And you don't have to be from Wisconsin to enjoy Wally's. Hi, this is Francisco from Wally's Wisconsin Tavern. Whether it's a special occasion, game day, or heck, Tuesday, we're ready to serve you cold drinks and the best cheese curds in town. All you have to be is here. Wally's Wisconsin Tavern on 14th and Market, near Ball Arena.
Crazy to think of everything that's happened in the last 25 years, but one thing that's remained as consistent as ever is Plumline Services. From Fort Collins to Castle Rock, Plumline Services has been earning the trust of Coloradans with plum-crazy service and pricing on plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, and drain cleaning. Plumline and Carrier. Turn to the experts. Schedule your service online at plumlineservices.com. For 25 years and counting, Plumline Services, partnering with great brands like Carrier. Service at home, servants at heart.
McKinnon holding. He scores! The Mac attack is back, Jack!
The Colorado Avalanche is proud to continue its support of the Colorado hockey community. Our efforts aim to support the growth of hockey throughout the great state of Colorado and make the game more accessible for all families through programming both on and off the ice.
Rantanen has it. He scores! The Moose is loose!
Learn more at ColoradoAvalanche.com.
Are you waiting to get out and shop for a new home? Well, there's good news from my friends at American Financing. Interest rates have finally dropped into the 5s, making that new home more affordable. But you need to get started today. The market is warming up, and you need to get out shopping and lock in your price before it heats way up. My friends at American Financing can get you a pre-approval letter in 24 hours or less. And their salary-based mortgage consultants can get you into a home for as little as $1,000 down. All it takes is a 10-minute, no-obligation phone call today to get you into the best investment you can make in Colorado. A home. 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000. AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. APR for rates in the 5 start at 6.6% for well-qualified buyers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Watch the show on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv/AltitudeSR. Brought to you by Safeway.
Men, this is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction, and if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Hey, this is Brett Kane from my friends at Circa Sports. It's the largest sports book in Las Vegas, and it's available right now in Colorado. It's sports betting the way it should be. Tight money line splits. They strive for everything to be at about -110. There are no betting limits based on your winnings, and they have the best customer service in the game. Start betting like a pro from anywhere in Colorado. So download your new bookie today or visit circasports.com. Any gambling problems, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit problemgamblingcolorado.org.
Colorado Avalanche Hockey, you're between the pipes. Presented by Safeway on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
Nichushkin leaves it for Johnson, far point. Big drive off the side of the net. Avs get to it first. Out in front. Middlestad denied again by Elvis Merzlikins. If not for Elvis, we wouldn't have some of the greatest music of all time, and the Columbus Blue Jackets would be down 17-1 in this hockey game. Mercy me. Merzlikins has on his blue suede shoes tonight. 3:40 to go in the second period. 3-1 Colorado. Could be a lot worse.
(6-1) is your final. Elvis Merzlikins has a tough go against the Avs this evening as they peppered him with shots. 51-24 is the final shot count in a 6-1 victory for the Avs. Mikko Rantanen scores twice this evening, including a one-time power play goal 7 minutes into the third period of play. He's 1 goal shy of 40, which would be the third time in Avs history that you've had multiple 40-goal scorers on one team. It happened last year, and it also happened back in the early 2000s with Milan Hajduk and Joe Sakic. It's the only other time that it's happened in Avs history. Shocking that Forsberg and Sakic didn't do it.
Man, if Valeri Nichushkin didn't miss that time, they could have 3. He scored his 26th goal of the season tonight, and I'm sure he would have potted. He'd be in the 30s. I mean, he would be in the 30s if he, had played a full season.
The Avs were very close in their inaugural season to having 3 40-goal scorers on the team. In that first year in 95-96, Sakic had 51 tucks in a 120-point season. Claude Lemieux was second on the team with 39. Val Kamensky was third on the team with 38. In that season, Peter Forsberg only scored 30 goals but had 86 helpers on the year.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be
no wonder they won the cup.
Third time in Avs history that this would happen. Nathan MacKinnon, 33 straight games with a home point. He is 7 shy of tying Wayne Gretzky's single season home point streak record. 8 shy of passing it. He would have to score a point in every single one of the home games this year to do so. When Gretzky did it back in 89-90 with the Kings, it was only a 80-game regular season, so you played 40 at home, 40 on the road. In 1995, the NHL moved to an 82-game slate, so now you play 41 at home, 41 on the road, which allows MacKinnon the ability to break that record for in-season. Did you know, Mark Springer, that 40 isn't actually the amount of games that Wayne Gretzky had consecutive points scored in at home?
No, I did not.
It's 49. Spread across 3 different seasons and 2 franchises.
But that 40 was part of it.
That 40 was split right in the middle of a 5-game streak to end the previous season in Edmonton. And then it was set before a 4-game streak to start the next season of 1990-1991. So 49 is the full breadth of points in home games.
5 straight home games to end one season, 40 in all 40, and then 4 to start the following season.
Correct.
Okay. And the 303-717 asked us, do you honestly think that Nathan MacKinnon can get a point in every home game? Yes.
Yeah.
It feels like a streak of destiny right now because to me it was, let me pull up the schedule here. It was that 3-1 home win against Vancouver. When was that thing? Where are you? Tuesday, February 20th. By the way, always shout out Ryan Johansson for that one. He scored the 2 even strength goals. So if the Avs end up winning the West or the Central, whatever, by 1 point, thank Ryan Johansson. You have to thank him, okay? You have to. Nathan MacKinnon did not have a point in that game. He did not assist on those 2 Ryjo goals. He assisted on the empty net goal. Like, that's when you know this is a thing of destiny, when that thing got kept alive on an empty net assist.
The building, everyone in the building knew what was going on tonight. When he scored on that breakaway, everybody knew.
And that play was so funny, too, because the Avs have offensive zone time. Columbus finally gathers and go for a breakout. They promptly get stripped, and Makar finds MacKinnon the other way. Like, Columbus is like, hey, we finally have the puck. No, we don't.
Nope.
Nathan MacKinnon's on a breakaway. Great. And the second Nate's on a breakaway, you knew what was going to happen. But okay, now I need to look and see if Nate had a point streak to end.
He did not
last season. Okay.
Already did the work for you. The final game that he played at home was a win over those Nashville Predators that we talked about so heavily last segment. He did not record a point, and I believe he was -3 or -2 in that game. The following game, he had a 4-point game. And then he did not make the trip to, was it Minnesota last year on the team flight? I ended up losing a big bet to one of my buddies.
Okay.
Like a pay for the golf round type of bet. And Nate needed like 1 point.
So so the Gretzky overall home point streak is 49 games?
49 games spread over 3 seasons and 2 franchises.
Is that the longest home point streak ever?
Yes.
Okay. So Nate could, and like we said, I'm kind of expecting it at this point.
And this does not include playoff games, by the way.
So he could beat Wayne's single season record, but that would just be on a technicality. Like Wayne just simply didn't have a 41st home game. But
correct.
Nate could extend it into next regular season. And like opening night next regular season, we could still be on red alert for MacKinnon continuing the push for Gretzky.
The reason why I found all this out is because tonight was it was a boring game. Like the first thing that Spring said to start the show was, we didn't really need to play this game, did we?
It's also the first thing I said to you when you walked into the studio.
And I'm sitting up there in the press box with D-Mac, and we're trying to entertain ourselves, right? We're looking up stats, and you're not learning anything from tonight's game.
Look, granted, it was fun in that the Avs look great. Like, the Stars and the Studs look great, so it's worth the price of admission in a way.
But me paying attention to the game tonight was not going to... I'm not going to be able to spit knowledge to you, spit something that you guys don't already know. The Avs are way better than Columbus. They're playing great. They're hot. That's the end of the story. So we start diving into Hockey Reference and seeing exactly what this streak was. And I joked, if MacKinnon wants to get to 50, you're going to have to wait until Thanksgiving of next year. And that was just off the top of my head. Do you know the exact date the 9th home game of the season was this year?
I do not.
It was Saturday, November 25th.
So you nailed it. That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
If you want Nathan MacKinnon to get to 50 straight home games, which would officially break the longest home point streak of all time, regardless of single season or multiple seasons, you would have to wait until you are, cracking open gravy and turkey legs next year.
That's a good, long, slow build. I like this. This is long-term storytelling right here.
I'm very excited about it. Now, do I think he can do that? That's a lot to ask. This season, though, what remains in the year is a defensively porous Pittsburgh team. And I say defensively porous about Pittsburgh. Montreal's even worse defensively. Like, they cannot keep the puck out of their own net. Then you play against New York, and New York scares me. Like, the Rangers, you can throw Shesterkin if he gets hot. Jonathan Quick has looked like he is back in his late 20s again this year, playing with his hometown Rangers. And then you play against the hottest team in the National Hockey League to finish up this 5-game homestand, and that's the Nashville Predators. And you go up against who I think right now is probably the second or the third best goaltender in the world in UC Saros. Those are the two games that it could end.
And I've likened this, especially knowing, and I didn't realize that Wayne Gretzky home point streak. I mean, I learned this a few weeks ago now that they only played 80 games that season. Now they play 82. And I've likened it to that 1970 Miami Dolphins team, Mercury Morris and what have you.
The guys who still get hammered every year when someone loses a game. Great thing for them to do. By the way, that might be the best tradition in professional sports is a bunch of dudes. Like, how old is Mercury Morris now? Those guys have got to be in their 80s.
Something like that.
And they got champagne sitting on ice, and they're getting lost in the sauce when someone loses a game. I love it.
Yeah, so
Larry Zonka is 77.
Thank you.
Popping bottles.
But, okay, so do you think Wayne Gretzky is rooting against Nathan MacKinnon right now? Because those Dolphins, they root against any undefeated team.
I do not.
Like, if Nathan MacKinnon does not get a point in one of these upcoming home games, is Wayne Gretzky popping a bottle?
No, I think Wayne Gretzky will be traveling to each one of Alexander Ovechkin's games. It's not going to be next season because he's not going to score 50 next year, but 2 seasons from now, like, let's say he scores 30 next year in January and February of 2026, Wayne Gretzky will be in every single one of those cities cheering on Ovechkin because Gordie Howe did the same thing for him.
It was like when Roger Maris's family was at Aaron Judge's games a couple years ago.
As they should be.
Yeah. No, and I joke about Wayne popping bottles if Nate's home point streak comes to an end. Because of all the records Wayne Gretzky has, do you think it was forefront of his mind? Like, oh, I also have that consecutive home point streak record.
Dude, this is one that like doesn't register.
I love how much we've talked about this year. It's hilarious.
Right? Because it's a fake record.
It is. Like, it's only the home games. Forget those road games. No. It's only the home
We
games.
should be paying attention to the fact that he's just 3 points shy of the Art Ross lead and is on pace to have like a 140-point season. He is, 2 points behind the Avalanche record for most points in a season and has an outside shot of breaking the franchise record dating back to the days of the Quebec Nordiques when, nobody played defense and the goaltenders were utilizing, couch pillows as pads.
Yeah, no,
he has a chance to break that record. Who was that?
Was it Stastny? I looked at it when you were gone. It was either Stastny or Goulet.
One
of the two. And it was like 139 points, if you want to look that up real quick. But yeah, he's 2 points away from tying or passing Sakic. Sakic had 120. Sakic, his best season was 120 points with the Avs. You're looking this up right now.
Peter Stastny, 139.
139. And what was Sakic's best with the Avs?
Sakic's best with the Avs was I've got the Quebec Nordiques. I think it's 121. 121 off the top of my head. I'm like 99% certain I'm right.
And how many points is Nathan MacKinnon at right now?
119.
Okay, so
that's done.
So he's done. He's going to pass Joe Sakic.
He will at least tie that on Sunday against the
Penguins.
Penguins.
We knew he was going to pass Joe Sakic. And the fact that he's on pace, like barely, but he's on pace to tie or barely break Stastny's 139. that's another ballpark. Just the fact that he's going to handily pass Joe.
So he's on a 1.7
He's having
game.
the best season in Avs history. He's having the best single player season in Avs history.
He is on pace to break not Jan Stasny. He's on pace to break Peter Stasny's record of 139 points by 0.4 of a point.
Yeah. I knew it was right there. Like right there.
He is on he's on a 139.4 pace.
I mean, if he does that, I mean, then it is officially the greatest season in franchise history.
Oh yeah. Well, Stasny did it in 80 games.
Ooh,
I know.
Peter's got him.
I know. So he's got to put up like you got to put up 143, 142?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it just 140? And we look at this made up record with Wayne Gretzky and say, well, it's 2 more games. He gets to do it.
Uh-huh.
Let's go out.
It's still, dude, what a season. It's the best season.
Let's head out to the phone lines. Joey's been waiting patiently. Joey, you're live on 92.5 with Raj and Spring. What's up?
Hey, guys. So first things first, excellent game tonight. It was fantastic watching them blow out a bad team. But I want to offer a thought experiment for you guys. We can all agree we had a great trade deadline, right?
Yes.
We picked up 2 big names, Sean Walker and Casey Middlestat. You can only pick one. Who was the better pickup?
Casey Middlestat, because of his ability to fill second line center in the here and now, and also because he's got RFA status and they can sign him for the long term. The organization realized that one of the main reasons why they were so damn successful in 2022 was second line center was dominant. And you got a guy who has a first round pedigree, who is playing at the top of his game thus far in his career, leading Buffalo in points. Sean Walker is a wonderful fit, but second line center is way more important than your number 4 or number 5 D-man.
But you have a third pairing defenseman who has more goals than your second line center.
Well, I get you so far,
sure.
But we're gonna project and extrapolate into the future as well. And yes, Sean Walker has been great so far, and will continue to play very well down the stretch for the Avs. And should they re-sign him, would be very welcome to return to this team. But over the long run, as this sample size increases, we will see that Casey Middlestat is the more important acquisition than Sean Walker. And that is no offense or knock to Sean Walker, but I understand the brain buster that you're trying to present us.
Don't get me wrong. I get it, Joey. He's great. I love Sean Walker. And yeah, he's got more goals than Casey Middlestat does at this point in his Avs career. But I mean, if you're going to look at the entire season, no, Middlestat's got 16 and Sean Walker has 8 this year. Second line center is way more important. Way more important. Both of them are great deals. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep Walker here long term because of the salary cap. I think Sam Malinsky's probably going to step into that Sean Walker role next season unless something crazy happens after this year goes on. But I do appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joey. Have a good one. I get it.
Yeah. No.
It is a teaser.
Yeah. Trying to, dip, duck, and dodge as, as we're throwing these haymakers. It's just keeping us on our toes there was all that was. Eli on the text line says, because we were talking about Nashville earlier and them winning 14 out of 16 games. The Avs have now won 8 in a row. He says, yo, boys, you realize the Predators are 14-0-2. And that's, I looking at their results, didn't quite catch that their 2 losses were overtime losses. So points in 16 straight games, 14-0-2. Since, and Eli points out, and Raj, you knew this, I didn't realize this, since the Predators canceled their trip to Vegas to go see U2.
And then one of the guys in the locker room started playing Still Haven't... What, is this the name of the song? Is it Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For? Is that the actual title, Steve Nelson?
I think technically there's an I. I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
So one of the Predators guys just like threw it on in the room, and the entire room bust out laughing, and they've gone on a heater ever since.
So this is Bono's team?
Bono? How many Keurigs? 7 Keurigs long. He's Mark Springer. I'm Alex Ryan. This is Between the Pipes. We'll take you through the NHL scoreboard on the other side, get you some bet winners for a college basketball Saturday, but there's also hockey tomorrow too. It's Altitude.
Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. The sports you're talking about. And there's more next.
I got a nightmare phone call that no parent wants to receive.
Someone hit me going 60 miles an hour.
Dr. Ramos came highly recommended. When I showed him the x-rays, he immediately knew exactly what was wrong.
We've had a tremendous experience with Ramos Law. Really, I could not be happier.
Having the car accident was an accident. Finding Ramos Law was no accident.
Injured in a car accident? Ramos Law can help. RamosLaw.com.
McKinnon! He scores!
Avs faithful, do you want to take the first step in becoming a Colorado Avalanche season ticket member? Memberships are sold out at this time, so the best chance to get one is by placing your deposit and joining the A-List membership waitlist. The A-List membership provides exclusive member benefits, including pre-sale access to playoff tickets. Head to coloradoavalanche.com/waitlist to learn more.
What if I told you that you could get the same delicious beef that top chefs at fine restaurants choose? You'd be all over that like I am. And now, yeah, you can be too. Mark Mosier here for Centennial Cuts. Centennial Cuts is a Colorado company in the cattle business for generations, and they produce premium, high-quality beef, sustainably raised and finished on locally grown grains for that perfect marbling and texture. And the best part, it's delivered right to your door. So check out their website at centennialcuts.com and see what I'm talking about. Or better yet, head to Velvet Cellar or A5 Steakhouse close to Ball Arena and try their outstanding beef for yourself. Plus, you've got kiosks and mercantiles all over that carry their famous beef jerky. You can find those on their website. Remember, it's centennialcuts.com for the most delicious and wholesome beef you've ever tasted. You'll be glad you did, and you'll be proud to serve it to your family and guests. Trust me, you won't go back. Centennial Cuts.
Men, this is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. The one you love is the light of your life. And if you're like most of us, you want to do whatever you can to nurture your relationship. But if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, you know the impacts the condition is likely having on you and your partner. ED is a relationship destroyer. It can contribute to depression, distancing, conflicts, and even breakups and divorce. And what's so disturbing about this is that most men who suffer with ED can be successfully treated, but a lot of guys don't seek treatment when they should. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we have protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases. In fact, if you're like most guys, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and maybe find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. So call the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve.
Denver Sports Talk.
I like games.
Like most of us, Lisa was a true dog lover, and she really loved our Pugapoo Jasper at Williams Jewelers.
So her fiance Mark had a brilliant proposal idea.
He took her for lunch around the corner, and as they walked down 3rd Avenue, he suggested they pop in Williams Jewelers to see our Jasper.
When Lisa bent down to give Jasper a hug, she noticed a shiny bag tied with a ribbon to Jasper's jeweled collar.
"It's for you, sweetheart. Open it," he said. Inside was the diamond engagement ring Lisa had always dreamed of. When she turned around, Mark was on one knee.
And Jasper couldn't have been prouder. I'm Michelle Williams.
And I'm Bruce Williams from Williams Jewelers. It's for those precious moments in time, the moments that change everything, that we love what we do.
And we are here for you.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers, where Colorado shines. In Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue between Fillmore and Detroit. And right now on the web at williamsjewelers.net.
Colorado Avalanche Hockey, you're Between the Pipes. Presented by Safeway on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
Steve Nelson, producer of the year. Between the Pipes, presented by Safeway, rolls along as we wrap things up here late on a Friday evening. Avs 6-1 victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Multi-point nights from Cale Makar, Jonathan Drouin, Nathan MacKinnon, and Mikko Rantanen this evening. The only Avs players without a point tonight: Yakov Trenin, Sean Walker, Brandon Duhaime, Andrew Cogliano, and Jack Johnson.
That's all right.
That's okay. I'll throw Alexander Georgiev in there as well. 23 out of 24 for Georgie, though. .958 save percentage.
And by the way, in a texter commenting on that last caller that we had, the 720-519, saying that Casey and Sean both have 2 goals with the Avs. Casey has more points. I think they both have 2 goals. I think that is correct, but it just those 2 Sean Walker goals were clutch.
Yeah.
They just
Middlestat scored some clutch goals too. That little toe drag goal off the hash mark the other night.
But those 2 Sean Walker goals were like, it was just recently. Dude, there's so much sports going on right now.
It was the Edmonton game.
The Edmonton game. Yeah, they needed both those.
Didn't Casey Middlestat score in that game too? Or no, that was a 3-2
Lehkonen in
overtime.
Yeah. And Sean Walker scores both your regulation goals that gets you to 2-2 overtime, including the game-tying goal when you're down 2-1. So it's just those 2 Sean Walker goals hit more than the Middlestat goals. I suppose is to that caller's point. But yeah, no, don't get it twisted. Casey is going to be a great Av for several years.
Alexander Georgiev now .903 save percentage on the year, .280 goals against average. He has 36 victories in 55 starts thus far this season among goaltenders who have played 25 or more games. His goals against average would rank 20th this year, right behind Marc-Andre Fleury and UC Saros, who have a .279 and a .278 this year. Save percentage for Georgiev at .903 puts him down there at number 26. He sits right behind Samuel Montembeault of Montreal, Tristan Jarry, and Alex Nedeljkovic of Pittsburgh at .904 as well.
Hey, Kevin hit us up on Twitter. He said he heard the first segment of Between the Pipes, and he says, "What do you mean that we don't need home ice in the playoffs?" Maybe you're talking specifically more to me. I don't care if they get home ice. If they do, great. Now they're probably gonna. I think it's unrealistic to me that they fall to that they finish as the 3 seed in the Central. I think they will have home ice in round 1.
They're playing too well.
Yeah, they're playing too well. They're too stacked. They're too good. They're gonna finish in the West either first or second. And if they finish first in the West, will they finish behind or in the Central? Will they finish ahead or behind of Vancouver? I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm not concerned. I said this before the trade deadline. Okay, I was a firm believer in the Avs before the trade deadline because I just saw the Kansas City Chiefs go and win in Buffalo and in Baltimore. If the Avs have to do, if they have to play any Game 7 on the road in these playoffs, they can get it done. I don't care. The Avs are playing so well right now that if they don't win the division or the conference, it'll be just because the other teams can't stop winning too. And it'll just be what it is, and you'll have to live with it, but it shouldn't deter you at all. It shouldn't make you feel like, oh no, because they'll be the away team in one of these series, it's over. No, not by a long shot.
Let's look through the NHL scoreboard this evening. Just 4 games on a Friday, 11 games tomorrow. As you guys are entrenched in college basketball, there will be a bunch of hockey as well. The Avs don't play until Sunday. That'll be a midday game. 11 games for the NHL tomorrow, 10 games for the NHL on Sunday, and then just 2 games on Monday, which is the most NHL thing in the world, where everyone in the world is watching college basketball on Saturday and Sunday, and then basketball isn't being played on Monday, and neither is hockey. I'll leave that there. Avs win 6-1. Stars double up the Penguins 4-2 this evening. You can't really bet on Pittsburgh to do anything. This thing was 4-1. It was over before it began. 2 goals for Jamie Benn. He's got 15 now on the season. The Stars are tied atop the Central Division with the Avs. However, Colorado with 1 game in hand.
Yeah, those games in hand are finally gone. That's what the ones that Winnipeg had in particular. They're gone now. Like the Avs, Winnipeg has 1 game in hand, but they're 2 points back. Like coming into tonight, the Jets and the Avs were dead even. Both had played 69 games. Both had 93 points. Now the Avs have played 70 games with 95 points. So those games in hand have disappeared.
Dylan Guenther scores an overtime winner for the Coyotes as they beat the Seattle Kraken in a game that just means that Phoenix is not going to pick as high in the draft as they need to next year. And then a bonkers game tonight. 7-6 is the final in a shootout as the Capitals and the Hurricanes duke this thing out. Sonny Milano and Sebastian Aho had dueling hat tricks. There's been 100 hat tricks in the National Hockey League this year. Alexander Ovechkin moves to 13th on the NHL's all-time points list with 1,540 points. He passes Joe Thornton there, scores his 846th goal of his career. He's 48 shy of tying Wayne Gretzky for the most in league history at 894. This thing was back and forth all game long, and the shootout winner for Dylan Strome is Pyotr Kochetkov snaps his stick in 2 over the post. That guy is a psychopath.
Darcy Kemper got pulled in this game.
Darcy did not look good.
They started the third period with Charlie Lindgren instead, who is now their number 1. They're paying Darcy Kemper. Remember all that money that was too much for the Avs and it was a good chunk of change? He's going the way of Jack Campbell. Like, that's the path we're on with Darcy Kemper right now.
And Philip Grubauer, dude.
And Philip Grubauer. Yeah, how about that? When you look back on them moving on from Grubauer and then Kemper, and we knew it was the right move at the time, and it's proving and then some.
Is the same thing going to happen with Georgiev? Because maybe Eustace is ready at the end of next year to take over as a starter, and then by that time, hopefully Georgiev has at least a cup ring to his name, maybe even 2.
You know, we've talked about that possibility. Like, it kind of lines up for that, and it would allow the Avs to stay cheap in goal beyond the Georgiev era. Because one thing about Georgiev is he's pretty cheap right now,
super cheap,
and he's gonna get paid. It's not going to be like top-end goalie money, but it's going to be solid goalie money. The difference, though, between Georgiev, Kemper, and Grubauer, just on a base level, I think Georgiev he's just a better goaltender than those two. And he's younger than they were when
He has a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Out of the 3, he has the highest ceiling for sure.
Like, Grubauer and Kemper were in their early 30s when they were free agents moving on from the Avs. Georgiev's going to be like 28, 29 years old, which is approaching that.
Who has the lowest floor out of those 3, though?
Between Georgiev, Kemper, and Grubauer? I think Georgiev's the best of those 3. Don't get me wrong. I don't think any of them are amazing. The lowest
floor out of the 3. Because I think all 3 of them are kind of the same guy. Just like they're the same dude, and Georgiev has the ability to be. If any of them was going to compete for a Vezina, it would be Alexander Georgiev.
Yeah, I think he's the best of those 3, but I don't think he's elite.
No.
Like, I would go like grade wise. Grubauer and Kemper are like B-, Bs, and Georgiev's like a B+.
Yeah.
How's that for you?
They're the same dude. They're all 3 of them are the same dude.
So they very well, yeah. Eustace it might be Eustace's team in a couple years.
All right, bunch of games tomorrow. 11, in fact. Earliest one starts at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Latest one is an 8:30 start between the Blue Jackets and the Golden Knights. The Knights are going to absolutely murder Columbus tomorrow night. There's also a toilet bowl game between the 19-win Blackhawks and the 16-win Sharks. That's the closest odds that you're going to get all evening evening long, minus 115. Actually, no, minus 115 for the Blackhawks on the road as favorites. There is a pick'em game tomorrow night on ABC, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Panthers visiting the Rangers. That's without a doubt the best game on the slate. Spring, I love tomorrow the Edmonton Oilers to go in and beat Toronto on the road at minus 135. I like the Rangers to beat the Panthers at home at minus 110. And I like Vegas just to throw a little bit of pepper on my three-way parlay on the money line. I can't do money line at minus 320 on that parlay. I will throw Vegas on the puck line, minus 1.5 at minus 130. Parlay those together for 488. If you bet $10, you'll win 48 or whatever it is.
All right.
48.
Let's throw some crap against the wall here because I've been focusing so much of my betting attention on the dumb as all hell March Madness tournament, which I get excited for every year and I love it, and then I get crushed by this freaking tournament, and it has taken all of my energy away from the other leagues right now. And it's sad. It's very sad because I haven't even been doing well in March Madness. So let's go back to our happy zone, and that's the NHL here. Let me throw something against the wall real quick. You know what? How about just one pick for you tomorrow night? How about this? How about the Leafs at home? They're home dogs against the Oilers tomorrow night. Leafs plus 114. I gotta imagine that the reason that the Leafs are home dogs,
it's because they're built to lose,
is simply because is Mitch Marner still out? Yeah, he's still out. That's why. I don't care, actually. Though everyone's so high on the Oilers, and they'll think, oh, the Leafs are gonna leave, just like you thought. No. Plot twist: the Oilers are gonna oil. Okay. The Mitch Marner-less Leafs are going to beat the Oilers tonight, plus 114. Book it.
All right, those are your picks for tomorrow's 11-game National Hockey League slate. That'll do it for us tonight. For Steve Nelson behind the glass, my friend, long day for you. Love and appreciate you as always, fella.
Is that what you appreciate about me?
So much and more, Steve Nelson. For Mark Springer, I'm Alex Ryan. Next
hey, look,
time.
he put Grubauer and Kemper on the...
I need a third one in there. Isn't there a meme of like 17 of those guys in a circle pointed at each other? Between the Pipes, late night edition.
Nice.
Next time we'll talk to you guys will be Sunday, midday. We got a matinee midday game between the Avs and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Broadcast time on Sunday will start at 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time. So Spring and I will get on sometime around 3 or 3:30 in the afternoon. We'll talk to you about a much more exciting game, I'm sure, even though Pittsburgh won't make the playoffs. But I'm a fanboy for Sidney Crosby, so I can't wait to speculate about when he's going to be in burgundy and blue one day. Mark Springer.
Man, that dream's dead. I hate
Steve
to say
Knight,
it. Casey
so
Middlestat
dead.
killed the dream, but it's okay.
I'm Raj. Enjoy your basketball tomorrow. Avs win. Best team in the West.
Go Buffs.
KKSC Parker, KKSC FM HD1 Broomfield, KKSC FM HD2 Broomfield, K269 AE Boulder. We are Altitude Sports Radio. No one talks more Denver sports than Altitude Sports Radio 92.5.
There are sports bars in Denver, and then there's Rhine House, where you're welcome anytime. Our lively atmosphere is perfect for watching a game, playing some bocce with friends, or for having a real nice meal with your family. Our menu includes German beers, pretzels, and brats, of course, but we also have a menu that includes authentic German dishes like pork schnitzel or spätzle. You're welcome anytime at Rhine House, before, during, and after the games. Next to Ball Arena at 14th and